Hello, my name is Julian Royce, and I work as a psychotherapist here in Boulder, Colorado. And I want to use my 2 minutes to advocate for two things. One is to suggest that the City Council decriminalize psychedelic medicine, especially psilocybin, and to do so in service of supporting psychedelic-assisted therapy. It seems quite likely that psilocybin and MDMA will become legal medicines that help treat mental health issues in the near future, and by acting now to decriminalize these substances, the City Council can take a historic step and position Boulder, Colorado to be at the forefront of this frontier. And so the New York Times, in an article published April 11th, 2022, so a few months ago, wrote that psychedelic compounds like LSD, ecstasy, and psilocybin mushrooms have shown significant promise in treating a range of mental health disorders, with participants in clinical studies often describing tremendous progress taming the demons of PTSD. A more recent study published in the Journal of Nature Medicine found that over the course of 3 weeks, participants given standard antidepressants reported mild improvements in their symptoms, while brain scans showed continued signs of hard-to-treat major depressive disorder. By contrast, those given psilocybin therapy in the same study reported rapid and sustained improvement in their depression. Their brain scans showed activity across large swaths of the brain. This suggests that psilocybin therapy increases nervous system integration and increases neural connectivity. So I'm advocating for the decriminalization of these, but specifically to support the emergence of psychedelic-assisted therapy. And part of the history of Boulder, Colorado is that it's long been at the forefront of health and wellness. And in 1896, I was doing some research. Dr. Harvey Kellogg of cereal fame opened the Colorado Sanitarium at 4th and Mapleton. So I think that this would be a good move. I think it's going to come anyway, and I think it would position Boulder to, like I said, to be at the forefront of this movement. So please consider that. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Julian. Stephen Newman, Brigitte Mars, and Stephen Heidel.
Hi there, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, members of City Council. Thanks for allowing me to speak during open comment. I'm going to join Julian. My name is Stephen Newman. I'm going to join Julian in advocating for City Council to take up the issue of decriminalizing psychedelics in Boulder, and would like to share a few reasons why I think this issue is important for the Boulder community. I'll start by saying that I've personally benefited tremendously from using psychedelics as therapeutic medicines for healing trauma and inspiring creativity and enhancing my experience of the world. And anecdotes such as mine point towards the fact that psychedelics are powerful agents for healing, transformation, and great benefit to society when used in supportive contexts. And federal and state governments have continued on this decades-long path of the drug war and failed policies. And so there's a trend across the United States for local governments to step in and stop this trend and stop wasting local resources on criminalizing psychedelics, and make our communities safe for people to choose to use psychedelics without being in fear of being criminalized. As Julian mentioned, Boulder's become a bit of a hub for psychedelic culture ever since in the 1960s and 70s. Naropa University was established, and even today they have a certificate program for people to study psychedelic-assisted therapy, to train counselors to hold space for people wanting to seek out psychedelic medicine. MAPS chose Boulder as one of the sites for its FDA trials of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, partly due to the fact that there's a large number of trained therapists in the area. And so, yeah, I just want to wrap up by saying I think this is a huge priority for the city of Boulder to be on the forefront of this issue. And I would advocate that City Council take up this issue and move to decriminalize psychedelics. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. Next, Brigitte Mars, Stephen Heidel, and Nate Stone.
Greetings. I don't see the counter yet. I'm Brigitte Mars, 1919 19th Street. I have been a professor at Naropa University for over 40 years, a resident of Boulder for 47 years. I am also a holistic health practitioner, having worked at Alfalfa's and Pharmaca, and also have a weekly radio show on KGNU. I'm also a mother and a grandmother, and I'm also here to speak in favor of the legalization of psychedelics. I really believe that these substances are safe and something that our planet really needs at this time. respectable people are using them. They have a very low potential for abuse, and granted, there needs to be education on how they can be used. One of the classes I teach is called Creating Safe Set and Setting for the Psychedelic Experience. The planet abounds with entheogens. They occur in many, many different plants. They are gifts of creation. And as many of you have already mentioned, they do seem to be so effective in helping things like post-traumatic stress and addiction and depression, suicidal thoughts. I really have found that they help people to be less fearful of even dying when that time comes to them. They also can inspire art and beauty. Just think of the music that has come out of the psychedelic renaissance. Naropa has a Department of Psychedelic Studies. CU and Naropa both have psychedelic study groups. These are what the students are writing about, doing on their summer vacations. They do not deserve to be criminals. I believe that this is an opportunity to help wake us up so we can be better stewards of humanity. And I really believe that this is one of the things that has made Boulder so unique. Please hear us. Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you, Brigitte.
Yeah, hi. My name is Ramzy Abueita, and I'm here to speak in favor of Boulder decriminalizing psychedelic or entheogenic substances. We've been organizing the community to speak up about why entheogens are important to them and how they've helped people deal with trauma, find spiritual transformation, defeat drug addiction, connect with the ecosystem, access empathy, and be a great adjunct to therapy. There are no other substances known to humanity that are so safe, anti-addictive, and provide deep modalities of transformation, healing, and inner exploration. These molecules have been a part of the human experience for millennia, with many indigenous societies around the world using them for healing and communion with the divine. Their criminalization is a crime against humanity. And this is where we ask City Council to step in to decriminalize these substances, as 15 cities across the US have already done. So far, we've spoken directly to 6 out of 9 members of City Council, and I'm amazed by the positive reception and openness we've experienced from you. This definitely seems like something that has wide support among City Council, and we definitely have the numbers for this to pass. The main concern I've heard from a couple of you is that you're too busy and understaffed. And while I can appreciate the council has its priorities, it's our job to show you that this issue is a priority that is important to so many members of our community. We've been speaking about this for 6 months now, and this movement will keep snowballing and snowballing into something huge that has no sign of abating anytime soon. We have dozens of people already lined up and eager to tell their stories. We have hundreds of people on our email lists who are eager to step to this plate. This is a cause for the whole community, and we will not stop speaking until we are heard. Boulder is already a leader in the frontier of heralding these substances. This is something that is true to Boulder's legacy of harboring a vibrant psychedelic community, as well as Boulder's future of being a bastion of a new renaissance. Thank you.
Thanks, Ramzy.
Good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
My name is Kris Lauridsen. I'm currently a student at CU in Boulder, having just graduated with an undergrad degree in neuroscience, and I'm starting a graduate degree in the fall. Additionally, I work at the Boulder Community Hospital on the inpatient psychiatric unit, and I'm speaking here on behalf of the effort to decriminalize psychedelic medicines in Boulder. As a member of the student population in Boulder, I've had the privilege of being involved with the CU's Psychedelic Club for a number of years and am now the acting president. Through this experience, I've gained valuable insight into the nature of the relationship that the community of university students in Boulder have with psychedelic substances. Contrary to bad faith depictions of psychedelic experiences as being dangerous acts of sensation seeking or escapism, in fact, in the safe container of the club, I've observed students in Boulder share their actual lived experiences, working through unresolved emotions, gaining useful personal insights and purpose, becoming more engaged and productive, and exploring various modalities of creative expression. I'm additionally fortunate to be in the process of training at a center in Boulder called Medicinal Mindfulness, which today already functions to provide psychedelic-assisted therapy in the current legal forms of cannabis and ketamine in their mindfulness-based somatic therapy program. I believe that given the presence of centers such as Medicinal Mindfulness in Boulder and myriad other historical legacies, Boulder should continue to be on the forefront of promoting a healthy and open community in a leadership act of decriminalizing psychedelic medicines. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Pfeiffer, and I would like to speak about the need of decriminalizing psychedelics in Boulder to allow accessibility to transformative treatments for people with chronic illness and mental health issues through sharing my personal journey of battling a chronic illness called fibromyalgia. At about 18, my body started shutting down and I was in pain all over, constantly fatigued and having various symptoms such as numbness, dizziness, nausea, brain fog, anxiety, depression, trouble sleeping, and migraines. I was in college studying humanitarian aid, and my doctor told me that there was really no cause or cure for this illness, but that I would be in pain for the rest of my life and that I should buy a cane. I refused to accept this fate and began doing research on causes and cures. I tried all the Western medicine treatments, but nothing worked and I was only getting sicker. This brought me to alternative medicines such as psychedelics, which allowed me to connect to my body and actually feel what was going on. I noticed that Western medicine was not treating the part of so much of chronic illness, which is trauma and emotions stored in the body. I was able to accept my diagnosis, feel where in my body the trauma was being stored, and finally able to cure what 10 years of talk therapy were not able to. I have since been working through my illness and finally dealing with the symptoms, thankfully with these medicines, but only in third world countries. Having accessibility to these medicines that my ancestors, being a Mexican woman, have used for generations is important for my people so that we can heal in the way that our people have always. It is interesting being in America having alcohol be legal, which is mainly used for partying, while the sacred plants that could be transformative for so many people with chronic and terminal illnesses are still criminalized. I feel Boulder must be a part of this transformation in decriminalizing these medicines. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. Now we have JT Smiedendorf, Sherry Hack, and Emily Musgrave.
My name is JT Smiedendorf. I've lived in the Boulder area for 15 years and been an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ for 20 years. I hold a Master of Science degree from the University of Arizona and a Master of Divinity degree from the Iliff School of Theology. And recently I earned a postgraduate certificate in psychedelic therapies and research from the California Institute of Integral Studies. And in light of that certificate study, I'm here to ask you to take the simple step of decriminalizing psilocybin in Boulder. The data on psilocybin is already significant and positive. It is clear that psilocybin is safe, safer than most any over-the-counter medication, and is a powerful helper for healing. People with anxiety and depression, especially at the end of life, continue to experience healing with the help of psilocybin. 2/3 of participants in one study rated their psilocybin experience as one of the top 5 most meaningful experiences of their lives. And soon a peer-reviewed study by Johns Hopkins University will be released that shows the safe and powerful positive mystical effect that a psilocybin journey had in the experience of Christian, Jewish, and Muslim leaders. I know colleagues who participated and they speak of a positive life-altering effect. I myself have experienced psilocybin as a safe and sincere form of prayer that has offered healing and growth to me. I consider praying with this sacrament to be a form of protected religious freedom. I helped other clergy to pray this way in the Netherlands only 2 months ago, safely and with powerful positive effect. Psilocybin is not for everyone, nor will it cure everything, but it is a safe and powerful healing ally for many. Its private use is neither criminal nor crime-producing, nor worthy of limited law enforcement time and resources. I thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Emily Musgrave. I am speaking today to advocate to decriminalize psychedelics, specifically psilocybin, and allow for therapeutic usage in Boulder, Colorado. As a licensed mental health counselor and yoga instructor, I believe it is essential for psilocybin to be decriminalized and allowed for therapeutic usage. World-renowned psychiatrist, author, and researcher Bessel van der Kolk specializes in post-traumatic stress. Working with clients and conducting research over the past 50 years, he has found psilocybin and other psychedelics are the most effective way at removing and/or reducing trauma compared to years of therapy and/or pharmaceutical medications. He is not alone in this opinion amongst other leading professionals in the mental health field, myself included. Due to personal experiences and hearing client experiences, I do not believe that there is any other way to truly combat severe mental illness and addiction in the course of one day or experience. Since COVID-19, mental health illness has risen drastically, with few resources available to our community. By decriminalizing psilocybin, our community can become healthier, stronger, and more financially stable, due to individuals being emotionally and physically able to hold steady jobs. One psilocybin journey can change a person's livelihood from using hard drugs, feeling suicidal and unable to function, into a happy, passionate, fulfilled individual. I have heard these experiences in the counseling setting personally. It allows for a person to have a wider and healthier perspective on life. Personally, I was in a severe car accident and was struggling with PTSD, diagnosed by an outside psychiatrist and counselor, taking medication daily, counseling weekly, and still unable to function. After one psilocybin journey, my PTSD decreased drastically, and I was able to function without medication on a daily basis. Psilocybin has no addictive properties or harmful side effects and has overwhelming benefits for mental health, which is why it should be decriminalized in our community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Emily. Sorry, I just lost the speaker list. Now we have Lynn Siegel, Giselle Hertzfeld, and Keaton Gray.
Lynn Siegel, amen on psychedelics. I don't even take aspirin, but I support that. That's a no-brainer.
Okay, hello, City Council. My name is Keaton Gray. I am a licensed social worker, yoga instructor, and full-time mental health therapist here in Boulder. And I am also here to speak on the importance of decriminalizing psychedelics in Boulder. I'm so grateful to live on this land, and one of the main reasons I moved to this area is because Boulder is a well-known hub for cutting-edge mental health treatment. I also moved here because I am aware that providers in Boulder value the potential in psychedelic-assisted treatment. Almost every mental health care provider that I have talked to about psychedelic-assisted treatment here feels excited about the breakthrough studies that are surfacing. In our field of mental health care, treatments like psilocybin-assisted therapy represent to us real hope and promise for improving mental health care. This is why today I stand in full support of decriminalizing psychedelics, entheogenic plants and fungi in Boulder. Decriminalizing psychedelics for the people is a crucial step towards integrating this medicine safely into our communities. It is already happening here underground. People are readily accessing these medicines. And as a provider, decriminalization is also a crucial step in the direction of one day legally and ethically providing this medicine for people in psychotherapeutic settings as well. I have had multiple clients who have had enlightening experiences with psychedelics and plant medicines. I have clients who want to seek out psilocybin and psychedelic-assisted treatment and are considering going to places I am not able to endorse due to the current structure of law and regulation. I believe that decriminalizing this medicine allows for more safety and support for folks who seek this out. As a people, we have endured so much in the past recent years alone with the trauma of the pandemic, gun violence, climate crises, economic disparities, and ongoing systemic racism. Because of this, I believe it is imperative to move forward and allowing our community to access these non-addictive, highly beneficial medicines that can radically improve mental health. As a local therapist and social worker, I fully encourage the City Council to decriminalize psychedelics. Thank you.